All right, guys. Good afternoon. I told Shayna that we would start when she shut the door, and she immediately shut the door, which means it's time to get started. So thank you for joining us here, afternoon breakout session. As I will joke here, the three of us did this panel at Enterprise Connect back in March. And I think there was 14 people in the room. So we've exceeded that number here today, which makes us feel great. So we appreciate you being here. For those who have not met me, my name is Austin Lacey. I'm one of the consultants or advisors here at C3, based out of Indianapolis. Joined here today by our client RDI, who's based out of Cincinnati. Tom Colligan to my right here is the Vice President of PMO for RDI, has been leading the deployment of the of the Genesys Cloud solution. Kristen from Genesys is with us here in the middle. And lastly, we have Matt Dowd, who's the president of RDI, who will talk a little bit about what Genesys has been able to open up for them as a business as it relates to supporting their existing clients and any future new ones. So to start, Matt, I'll maybe come to you. Maybe give the audience, obviously, we know you well, but tell us a little bit about RDI, kind of your agents, where they are in the world, how many you have, what types of clients you guys support. Give us a little foundation here as we start.
Yeah, we're a BPO contact center MSP solutions provider based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. At any given time, anywhere from 3,000 to 3,500 employees, based domestically and in Mexico. Recently, just started testing in Jamaica too. Great timing there on with that. But we inbound customer service, sales, help desk, tech support. We support a number of major brands, United Healthcare, Best Buy, Yeti, corporations like that. So really excited to be here to talk today.
Yeah, great, Matt. Thanks. Tom, from your perspective, I'll come to you next, and then Kristen will get kind of our next question. A couple years ago, Tom, obviously you guys were original Genesys, which was interactive intelligence Peer Connect customers, right? And we worked through kind of the selection process. To talk us through high level, how did we get kind of the process that we went through? I know one of the big things that you were very keen on was making sure there was no loss in functionality. So can you talk us through kind of that evaluation stage and how you guys approach the technology modernization rather, of your tech stack?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a pretty extensive RFP that C3 definitely helped us with, vet and CCAS vendors. We did a lot of show and tell as it related to making the decision, right? So we have a lot of different customers, probably 30 to 40 to 50 different clients at any given time that are on our cloud platform. We went through requirements for all of those customers, wrote them down, sent them over to everybody that was part of the RFP, made them answer specifically how they were going to do what we needed to have done for our customers. And then we did a lot of show and tell, like I was saying, right? So it was like, okay, you say you can do this, let's have some meetings and show us how you would actually build it or show it in production for another customer or that type of thing. We really wanted to make sure that we were 100% sure that we were not going to lose any functionality for any of our customers, and that's what's happened so far. So
it was a unique part of the process, or project rather, right? A lot of times we work with clients and it's one brand supporting one set of customers, right? And in the case of RDI, it was like 40 brands, right? 40 different customers, 40 different use cases. And I think that led to ultimately Genesys being the selected vendor. Kristen, why do you think that was the case, right? Talk us through ultimately. Kristen manages some of the largest BPOs and the relationships between Genesys outside of just RDI. So Kristen, from your perspective, why do you think you guys were the right fit here?
Yeah, thanks, Austin. So I think from my perspective, Genesys was a great fit for RDI because, obviously we had the on-prem solution with them. They saw a lot of success there. So it just made sense to make that next step to move to the cloud. And in doing so, moving to Genesys Cloud, they were able to increase, obviously, their scalability. They were able to, you really just take that next step in the growth of their business. So doing so and moving to the cloud is what really enabled them to, deliver that exceptional customer experience that they were looking to give to their clients. And moving to Genesys Cloud, I think, was a great move or a great decision for them because we have that native platform that they were looking for that, again, enables them to, process and really just deliver the best experience to their end customers. And like Austin mentioned, each client has different expectations, different requirements. So the API system that Genesys Cloud runs on is able to deliver that that personalization. So I think that's how we were able to help them out and really meet their needs in the RFP process.
Yeah, just to add to that, we're in a unique environment as well, where 50% of our clients hang off of our solution. The other 50% we're in their environment. So we get to see multiple environments, multiple platforms, and talk to our customers about what they like and dislike about different platforms. And that helped us through the RFP process as well.
Yeah, and it's a great point, Matt. And I think for the foundation is important here, right? As we spent the first 10 minutes just talking through kind of RDI from where they were to where you are today. Matt, coming to you, I think you guys are in a unique part of this sort of AI transformation as it relates to contact center, where a lot of that messaging is taking away butts and seats. That's how you guys make money, right? So how has moving to Genesys and the native AI capabilities that have came with the licenses that you purchased, where's that taking you? How are you supporting your clients kind of through that vehicle with some of the things that maybe you weren't able to do before because the technology didn't exist or would have been a third party?
Yeah, I think there's two parts to that. One, any BPO that says they're not concerned with losing seat count is selling on something. Lying, if you want to call it that. Yeah, absolutely. So you're trying to figure out and navigate the waters. But on the flip side, if you go into any sales meeting today and don't have a robust AI solution, you might as well not show up. So a combination with the Genesys platform and our homegrown tools that we're building internally with our app development team, I think it sets us up to do a couple things. One, automate, obviously, whether it's an IVR solution or a voice bot or chat bot, but also assist the agents that we have. Because when you take away the easy, repetitive work through AI, it leaves a more complex interaction. So giving our agents the tools using AI, real-time agent assist, different knowledge bases, training tools, those things make the agents that we still have on the phones much better and more efficient.
And I think it's an opportunity, as you and I have talked about before, where you don't necessarily lose revenue, right? You may not have 100 agents anymore. You might have 80, right? But if the other 20, agents or what the agents would be producing from a work perspective are covered by, the AI solution, better for the client and for you guys, better as well, right? So, Tom, coming to you next here, just to continue the round robin. I remember when we went through the process, we came down to Cincinnati. And shadowed some agents. And one of the agents that we shadowed is a kind of a conglomerate brand that has a lot of different types. I believe they were the woman's beauty line. The shampoo was the call we were listening to. And seeing the process that they took in the previous world of looking up specific products, right? I use this brand of shampoo and I can't find it anymore. What's going on, right? They go into Salesforce. They're searching for that product. And the agent is sort of, resulted to telling them whatever information they find. How do you see the agent assist opportunity with that and reducing that handle time and allowing your agents to not have that 30-second period where they're looking for data? Where do you see that in kind of the roadmap moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the first things that we push out once we get through the initial transition as it relates to getting all of our clients moved over to Genesys Cloud. Agents being able to have kind of that just-in-time information, right? When the system is hearing the customer speak, right, and based on what the customer is saying, it's saying, hey, you should do A, B, or C, right? And they're able to select their path and kind of guide the customer to a resolution a lot quicker. It's good for customer experience, and actually it's better for the agents as well, right? They're able to have that information right at their fingertips. They're not fumbling around trying to keyword search in a knowledge base, right? So we're going to see increased FCR and CSAT and things like that, and hopefully reduced agent attrition, right? Because it's going to be easier for them to take care of the customers at the end of the day.
Kristen, how does this whole conversation, as I mentioned earlier, and I know this, so maybe tell the audience a little bit. I know you support some of the largest BPOs in the world. RDI obviously is a part of your customer base, but outside of this room, how is this whole conversation and how RDI is approaching it similar to your other clients and maybe different? And how can people who are not BPOs in the room maybe take some of that and implement it on their own?
Yeah, so clients across all different industries are using Genesys AI in very impactful ways. A lot of things that Tom just highlighted, like specifically Journey Analytics with predictive engagement. So that is when the clients on the website and the agent sees that they're struggling, so they pop information and they guide them to their next best step. So that's something we've seen a lot of success in, and is super impactful. In exactly what Tom said is agent attrition and CSAT, and just really getting to the customer when they're in that frustrated state, and making and allowing them to go to the next step that they're trying to get to by interacting where they are. So you're meeting your customers where they are. Another really impactful example I can think of is conversational AI. So deploying the Genesys voice bots and chat bots. So allowing those bots to handle the lower level interactions, so that when you have a more complex conversation or complex issue, that your live agents are free for those conversations. So really great use of the AI that Genesys is rolling out. So everything that Tom is saying he's excited for, we're seeing across across the board in the BPO space, and tenfold, as Matt said. Every conversation in sales that you walk in, you're talking about AI. So that's top of mind for us across the board, and we're really excited about what we're doing here.
And it's a conversation obviously we have from C3 perspective every day, right? It's typically when a client of ours and those in the room that say, hey, we want to somehow implement AI. Well, let's boil it down to 3 buckets, right? As we've talked through a couple of them here today, you have the front end, the self-service, the IVAs, the chatbots. Deflection, right, was kind of the old term. Solving the interaction of the customer before it ever gets to an agent, right? You have what we just talked about with the retail or the manufacturing shampoo products, right? The real-time agent assist with an agent on the phone, prompting them, guiding them. Genesys certainly can support that with their built-in native agent assist solution. And then you sort of have the back end, right? And Matt, I know you guys have been doing this even predating the Genesys Cloud solution, and getting the deep, rich insights around what's happening on the phone, what are customers saying, sort of that conversational analytics practice. Talk about RDI Sightline and sort of that whole division, whether using Genesys Cloud or otherwise, and how you're bringing value to customers, even in the case where you might not be providing them the physical employees.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a number of different partners that we work with, CallMiner, Tableau, Genesys, and we have a team of data scientists that their whole responsibility is looking for insights within the interactions. What's happening? Why is it happening? How can we help the consumers? Whether it make ease of use for the consumers, or going back to the product development teams and giving them feedback. So just as an example, with CallMiner, we have a smoke detector alarm that goes off, was what we call it internally, where if a word or a phrase is mentioned more frequently in 1 week over the next, it sends out an alert to our entire operations team to dig into that specific feature. So again, if we're working with a newspaper publication, and an editorial comes out that drives a significant amount of volume, we know instantly that it's what is the cause of the additional volume. Or if we're working with the beauty line and we hear the word rash, we know who to alert, how to alert them quickly. So we're not playing the guessing game. Historically in the call center, it was always, I feel like I'm hearing this. And then you'd have to go and listen to all these calls. Now it's instant. We're getting that information real time and delivering it back to our customers so that they can make the necessary fixes.
Yeah, and again, I think it's a unique thing, obviously, that you guys do, right? And that, again, oftentimes we talk to maybe some of you in this room where it's, I'd love to use conversational analytics, but I don't have the person who knows how to use the tool. And you guys have data scientists, as you describe them. I call them wizards. I mean, Carlos and Owen, those guys, what they're able to pull out of calls is pretty incredible. So how does that, as you mentioned, it gives them the deeper insights and allows the monitoring and solutions to, be alerted when things are said. How is that help you guys from an organization perspective, sort of open those doors into clients that, again, don't have the expertise to do so?
Yeah, and that's a change that's happened over the last 4 or 5 years, where traditional butts and seats relationships, that was just an add-on or a throw-in as part of the solution. Now we're offering that as almost a managed services type role, where we can come in and do those types of roles for their internal teams. So we have a number of clients where we're managing their data analytics, their speech analytics teams, without having any call center interactions coming through our agents. So that's a nice change.
Yeah, and again, I think for those in the room that may say, hey, we got people, right? We got people in the door, and we don't we maybe had a bad experience outsourcing, or it's not a business priority for us. But that sounds interesting, right? I think that's a great opportunity for RDI to be a potential partner for your business. Tom, I want to come to you. We have 10 or so minutes left. Definitely want to get some questions. I know that are out there. Maybe the last topic that maybe we'll discuss here. You're rolling out Genesys Cloud. You've been live for a period of time with some of your early programs. You're finishing up that relatively soon with the last few clients. What's been the feedback? I know you said no negative loss in functionality. How have the clients received it? What do the agents think? Kind of what's been the overall feedback of the new solution? Obviously, Interactive and Pure Connect was around for a long time. So changing the desktop of the agent is typically a shock, right? So how have the agents responded, and how have your clients have responded during that process?
I really wish I had more to say. It was kind of a non-event for the agents, which is kind of exactly what we wanted it to be, right? We did a lot of training up front. We put it into our simulator tool where they were able to kind of do some different things interactively, right, and kind of practice with it before it actually went out to the agents' desktops. So from an agent experience, it's really, they're like, this is a cool new UI. I'm able to set up different things. Our managers are really happy with some of the views that they're able to set up from a dashboard and kind of reporting standpoint. From a client standpoint, it's been well received, right? We have some flexibility that we didn't have before, especially on the dialer side and kind of how we're running outbound lists and some things of that nature. And then also we have a client in the newspaper business that Matt was kind of talking about. They're actually a cloud customer as well, and they're like, hey, we picked up this tool that we're starting to use. We want you to roll it out to your agents, and we're able to do that seamlessly. It's a partner in the Genesys ecosystem, and we're finding that clients are coming to us with problems. I'm able to call Chris and be like, hey, do you guys have something for this? And they're like, yeah, we have guys that do this or that or whatever the case may be, and we're able to find a solution relatively quickly, and it's integrated, which makes it easy to deploy. So it's been nice that way.
Yeah, one thing that's been really nice about the transition, I touched on, we have a number of clients that are on the different systems, but the support from the Genesys team and the C3 team makes it very easy to pick up the phone and say, hey, I ran into something I haven't seen before. What have you seen? And with their interactions with other groups, it's made it much easier for our IT teams and our development teams to work through the process and have partners helping them along the way.
Yeah, and Kristen, I'd give you the final thought here before we open up for questions. I think one of the biggest compliments to any deployment process or any professional services organization would be kind of a non-event. I think that's a compliment, right? And I think behind the scenes during the evaluation process, as we were considering the finalists, one of the things we as a collective team between C3 and RDI were most impressed with were the resources that you guys brought in, and didn't say, yeah, this is the manager of the professional services organization. It was like, no, this is your guy. This is the guy who's your project manager. This is the guy who's going to support you as your TAM moving forward. Can you talk a little bit about the team? Not you as the sales account manager, but as the deployment team and as the ongoing support team, as Tom maybe in a roundabout way complimented as a non-event. What kind of resources are being poured into this from a Genesys perspective?
Yeah, so as Tom mentioned, during the RFP process, we dedicated the team that was going to work on their account. As soon as we figured out who that was going to be, we brought them on site. We got them introduced to the team. So as soon as we went forward with changing them over to Genesys Cloud, the team got onboarded super fast. We have a whole deployment team that is dedicated to Tom and his team, and they're meeting weekly. The projects teams, they check in every week to make sure they're tracking towards their goals. But I think, specifically for BPOs and like RDI, it is, not just a normal blanket deployment. So we really had to do deep dive sessions into, hey, what are their clients' needs? What do you guys, what does X client need? What does Y client need? So we couldn't just do a blanket approach. So we really were able to go in and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this in phases. We're going to make this collaborative. So it was just it's a great partnership between our implementation teams, my team, Austin helping out. I think it's been really successful in that way. So I think that's what's giving us success is, all the communication and the resources that we poured into it, and really looking at it like, hey, if client X needs a specific configuration, we can do that. So, we have the flexibility to make that happen. And I think that's what's been super successful with this deployment and allowing the smooth transition is all the resources that we mentioned, and just being able to really understand RDI's business and have a plan around that before we executed it.
Yeah, and just to contextualize, guys, obviously RDI is obviously a large from an agent count perspective than the average call center, maybe more difficult in terms of the complexity given the relationship with their clients. We were blown away by the Genesys team. There was like 14 people on site that day when we did a professional services meeting, and they're all engaged, and that's very unique, right? As we know, anyone who's been through evaluation or the ones that we see every day, that was something that we were all walked away impressed with, and ultimately think was a great sign in the partnership moving forward. So with the 5 minutes or 6 or 7 or 8 minutes, however long we got left here, questions from the audience for either Genesys, RDI. Nobody wants to ask me any questions, I don't assume, but go ahead, sir.
Well, I have a question.
I'm gonna hand you the mic. I assume that the mic will only be on the recording if he asks the question through the mic. Is that correct? Okay, cool. Here you go. I'm going to hand you this.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I was fortunate to listen to you at lunch talk about the agent experience when you're onboarding. Mm-hmm. And, let's face it, when talking contact centers, we care about average handle time, we care about first call resolution, we care about abandonment, and we care about turnover. You bring these new agents in, and my question is, with the simulations, and you mentioned using the AI to actually train them to give them those scenarios. Mm-hmm. Are you seeing an improvement with turnover with how you're training them?
I can start, or you can start, whoever.
I'll give the high level, and you can give how it works.
Sure.
Absolutely. We're seeing all of the metrics you mentioned. We're seeing improved numbers, improved turnover, improved speed to proficiency, better FCR coming out, CSAT, quality scores. And for those of you that don't know, what he was referencing is we have an in-house tool that we've built that's a training simulator. Think of a flight simulator for pilots. We have that for call center agents to be able to role play in training different scenarios. So historically, you would partner up in the classroom, and the instructor would say, okay, role play for 30 minutes. And you would talk for 25 minutes about your kids and your plans for the weekend and all that stuff until the trainer walked around, and then you'd quickly run through the script. Now we can do it every step of the way. We can grade it. We can correct it real time as they're going through that. So by the time the agent hits the floor, they've taken hundreds of phone calls with the AI bot role-playing with them about different scenarios. And as we've plugged in our call miner solution to find the most frequent types of calls and things like that, we can change the training based on the types of calls we're receiving now. So we've seen huge improvements. We're actually even using it in our interview process now to see how they would role-play in very basic conversational type roles.
Yeah, and to your question, we've also seen a reduction in attrition, especially in that first 90 days, right? As agents are getting acclimated, it's a historically a spot you can lose a decent amount of people. We've seen a lot more people sticking statistically during that first 90-day period as a result of using this tool. So we've been using it probably about 2 years now. So,
and I think the biggest thing is, as a call center agent, you can train for a month. But right before the live calls hit, the butterflies hit. It doesn't matter how well you prepare, the nerves hit right then. So when they feel like they've done it over and over, the real stuff is easy, right? And you can't train for everything. There's still going to be scenarios that pop up that you still have live assist on the floor with. but it's made a huge difference, and the feedback we're getting from agents about the comfortability of the script and the process and the systems has been huge for us. Anybody else? Any questions?
Questions. I'm glad we have no heckling from the man in the glasses in the fourth row.
I will pick on him in a moment. And I do think one of the
The one by the aisle, to be clear. So.
I do think, Matt, one of the unique things, as you just said, with you guys, again, from just a point of appreciation, is obviously you're the president of the organization. Tom is a senior leader. You guys were both agents, right?
Yeah.
That's how you guys started at RDI, right?
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
everyone making decisions about the AI training modules and how you hire and how you train and how you develop, we're agents. And that's a very unique thing. And I think that ultimately, you always have the agents in mind with everything that you decide.
Absolutely. 80% of our leadership team, all the way up to the executives team, started on the phones with RDI. So it's agent first. We have a cultural program or culture, who we are, called LWELL. It stands for Earn Well, Learn Well, Live Well. We have directors in each of our facilities that are dedicated to nothing but agent morale and keeping attrition low and connecting them to the resources they need. So when you cobble all of those together, we feel like it really puts our agents first. And so when we go into any new technology situation, we're trying to figure out, how do we make life easier? What do we need to do? Let's pull the agents in. Let's ask them their opinion, because at the end of the day, if it's not for our agents, none of us are here. And so when we're talking to them about AI solutions and technology and agent assist, we're asking their feedback every step of the way of, how do we make this better? Where do you need help? What can we do? And we bring them into the conversation.
Yeah, and I think obviously the move to Genesys Cloud certainly supports that from a user interface perspective, right? That's what they look at all day long. As we shadowed the agents in the on-prem world, we're double split wired into the hard phone. I'm like, man, I can't imagine hiring a millennial to do this, right? Like in a now more modern interface with Genesys Cloud, right? Certainly more than they're used to, right? To the iPhone experience. Looking at the time, couple minutes left. Any other final questions for the group, Genesys or RDI or otherwise? Funny jokes, favorite parts of the event so far? Nothing. Robert Campbell, anything from you, sir? He's laughing because he doesn't want to go.
So those of you, Robert worked for us for many years, so that's why the joke is there. And it is very funny that you find Tom at the lunch table, because the only reason he came was for the free meals.
I have never been late to a free meal, so.
Connect with Tom on LinkedIn. He's a foodie and always posts about his food adventures on the road. So certainly good follow. If there's no questions, the RDI and the Genesys team is around here the rest of the day. The RDI folks obviously will be in sessions. The Genesys folks have a table. Please stop by and ask anything that you may think about after the fact. Appreciate everyone joining us here. I believe there's another breakout session right after this, so we will wrap it up. But appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.